So lately, people have been approaching me asking how I can afford to travel the world so often and for such extended periods of time. And in a nutshell, I just tell them I got up my FU money. Now, they usually ask, what the heck is FU money? So I always go on to explain that FU money is being able to say pretty much FU to situations and people that you don't want to be a part of or involved in because you have managed to put away a significant amount of money or have the financial resources where you just don't need them. It provides you with the financial freedom and independence of walking away from a whole lot of BS that you just don't want to be bothered with. And it leaves you time to pursue your own dreams and your own interests. And for me, that was and is traveling. And because I was able to stack my FU funds, I'm able to pretty much go where I want to go and when I want to go there and for how long. Now, it wasn't an overnight process, but in this video, I am going to share with you the 12 strategies that I used to stack my FU money. My name is Sophia Lynette, better known on YouTube as the Global Nurse Expat. And on this channel, I talk about all things global travel, expat life, and digital nomading. You are interested in any of these topics, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this channel and these videos, and be sure to hit that notifications button so that you can be the first to know when I am uploading new content or when I am going live. And so yeah, let's get right to it. Here are the 12 strategies that I've used and were very successful at in stacking my FU funds. Number 1, open an FU fund. So I use Bank of America for my personal banking, and on the app it gives you the option of opening an account. So I did that. I opened a second or a specific account designated and dedicated to my FU funds. I named it my FU fund on the back end for my accounting purposes, just so that I can differentiate it from my regular account. And I just thought it was a cute name to give it. So I did that, and what I do is I have a designated amount from my paycheck directly deposited into my FU fund every week, every time I get paid. And I usually keep that account hidden so that I don't know exactly how much is in it, and that keeps me from the temptation of splurging and using the money on other things. So that pretty much works for me. Number 2, I budget and track my expenses. Every month I have a list, a running ledger of how much money I am projected to make that month from my paychecks that I get from working at my employer, as well as whatever money that comes in from my businesses, and any other dividends or investments that I make and I have ongoing money come in from. So I make a ledger and a running tally of everything that I am expecting to come into my account for the month, and then all of my bills that I am expecting to have to write checks for, and that will ultimately go out of my bank account every month. And I try to keep that expense tracking system up to date and accurate, so this way I know exactly what I'm working with from month to month. And it's usually pretty consistent bills aside from the mortgage, the car notes, and lately the utilities have been fluctuating because of this extreme heat that we've been having here in Texas, and the electric bill being a little more expensive than it normally is. Everything aside from that, everything else is usually pretty steady as far as my expenses are concerned. Number 3 on the list, I reduced my debt. I paid off a lot of my high interest credit cards and revolving loans. I did that by doubling up during each billing cycle with a second or sometimes third payment to kind of quickly pay things off and bring my balances way down. So, and it's helped tremendously because a lot of my extra money was going toward paying credit card bills. Number 4 on my list, I've made a couple of smart investments. I invested in a tech startup company, and I was recently provided with the dividends on my investment, and I just went on ahead and reinvested that money. I also opened up a few high yield savings accounts in IRAs as well. I am looking to diversify my portfolio a bit more. I do have some stocks that I don't really pay much attention to, but I need to get on the ball with that. Number 5, I engage in self-care on a daily basis. I basically set aside at least 35 to 45 minutes each day to do something for myself, whether it be walking or yoga or going to the gym or going to the spa or getting a massage or walking in the park. It's usually something that provides me with the opportunity to get in a little exercise. Movement is always good, and provides me the time to kind of reflect and deflate from my day. I used to do it first thing in the morning before I went to work. I kind of had to have a little me time before I headed on out in the mornings. But lately I noticed that I sleep later and later because I'm really not a morning person. So when I come in from work, I usually kind of decompress and reflect on my day. I try to get in long baths at least once a week on a Sunday, a long hot bath with some lavender, and I light my candles, and I just kind of unwind. It's very helpful. It kind of helps me reset, refocus, and re-energize for the week ahead. Number 6 on my list, I have no spend days. Yes, so again, on my calendar, which I kind of, it's a work in progress, but basically every 3 months I sit down and I plot out my no spend days. Those are days when I intend to not spend anything extra. I usually try to do all of my grocery shopping and filling up my car with gas and getting my essentials and paying my bills before that scheduled no spend day, so that it just makes it all the more easier. But for people that have like ongoing bills and stuff, no spend days are not designed to keep you from paying your bills or getting your essentials on that day. No spend days for me means no extra spending. So no Amazon orders, no Shein orders, no whatever people are into, no ordering them online or in the stores, no going to the store just to browse and buy mindless things that we don't need anyway. Yeah, so no spend days. I try to get my grocery shopping done once or twice a week. Now it's more like twice a week because I'm eating more vegetables and less meat. Probably I'm trying to cut out meat altogether. But right now it is way less meat. But when you buy vegetables, oftentimes you have to go grocery shopping more than once a week because the vegetables go bad. So I don't count that as just frivolous spending. I count that as necessities. But again, I try to work my no spend days around my other obligated shopping days and bills and stuff. So really I am like not spending. No DoorDash, no going to work, and everybody is ordering out. So now I am Zelling or Cash Apping someone because I want to feel included in order as well. No, so I just bring my lunch and they could do all the ordering that they want and I am not involved in it. And it saves a lot of money. Number 9, preparing my meals at home and meal prepping. So what I usually do is I usually go shopping on Sunday, and if I have to go shopping during the week, it's usually on Wednesday. So let's say I go shopping on Sunday and Wednesday. I know from beforehand, from looking at various recipes and meals that I intend to prepare for that week or for those couple of days, what I need from the supermarket. I put it on my list. I stick to the list. I don't roam up and down the aisles of the supermarket anymore. My goal is to get in, get what I need, and get out. And I don't go food shopping, grocery shopping on an empty stomach because that kind of puts you in the mood or sets you up for buying a whole bunch of stuff you don't need. So I usually have a healthy snack before I go into the grocery store. I bring my list. I rarely bring coupons, but some people do, and it works for them too. That's another money saver, by the way, if you're into that. But I'm kind of lazy, so I don't use coupons. I just get in there, get what I need, and get out as soon as possible. And I noticed, again, when I'm organized like this, I spend less. And it allows me to squirrel away a few extra coins here and there to put into my FU fund. Number 7 on my list, work an FU shift. I know it sounds hilarious, right? Well, outside of my regularly scheduled hours, right now I only work PRN or per diem. It depends on the part of the country that you are in that word, either PRN or per diem is used. It essentially means I work when I want to work. I am not on anyone's full-time schedule. I do have an agency that I work with and an entity, or I guess you could say an establishment, a freestanding ER that I only work PRN for. So that means, they call or text me, hey, what's your availability for the upcoming month? And I give them the days that I want to work or, need to work to meet my financial goals for the month. I give them those days. They schedule me for those days, and that's it. It could be 1 day a week. It could be 2 days a week. It could be no days a week. It's up to me. So what I do is I plot out exactly how many days that I want to or need to work in that month, to meet my financial obligations. And then aside from that, on top of that, I schedule myself for 1 or 2 FU shifts. And the money from those FU shifts are specifically dedicated to going into my FU fund. I do not waver from that. So I don't redirect those funds into any other areas. So what I do is I get my handy dandy planner and I put down my shifts. I write my shifts in the given month, and that FU shift I highlight in pink and it says FU shift. So that way, I know that I have my FU shifts for the month. And then I also put my no spend days in there, and I highlight that a different color and it says no spend days. So I keep it pretty organized and on point for that. And I stick to it. I don't care. Come hell or high water. If a girlfriend calls and say, hey, you want to go out for a bite to eat or whatever, and it's my no spend day, I'm not going. So that is what I've been doing, and that has been working for me. So number 8, eat less meat. So this is a new thing for me the last couple of weeks. I pretty much decided that August was going to be a raw plant-based foods month where I eat mainly raw plant-based food, fruits and vegetables for the month. And what I've noticed over the last 2 times that I went shopping is that my grocery bill is significantly lower because I'm not buying meat. Even taking into consideration that I go to the supermarket twice a week, my grocery bill has been half of what I usually spend when I buy meat. So cutting out meat from your diet is definitely a money saver. Number 9, preparing my meals at home and meal prepping. So what I usually do is I usually go shopping on Sunday, and if I have to go shopping during the week, it's usually on Wednesday. So let's say I go shopping on Sunday and Wednesday. I know from beforehand, from looking at various recipes and meals that I intend to prepare for that week or for those couple of days, what I need from the supermarket. I put it on my list. I stick to the list. I don't roam up and down the aisles of the supermarket anymore. My goal is to get in, get what I need, and get out. And I don't go food shopping, grocery shopping on an empty stomach, because that kind of puts you in the mood or sets you up for buying a whole bunch of stuff you don't need. So I usually have a healthy snack before I go into the grocery store. I bring my list. I rarely bring coupons, but some people do, and it works for them too. That's another money saver, by the way, if you're into that. But I'm kind of lazy, so I don't use coupons. I just get in there, get what I need, and get out as soon as possible. And I noticed, again, when I'm organized like this, I spend less, and it allows me to squirrel away a few extra coins here and there to put into my FU fund. Number 10, I make my coffee at home. So yeah, I'm a big coffee drinker, and I am a big go out to Starbucks or one of the other high-end coffee house shops and buy a $6 coffee. And I used to do that 5 or 6 days a week. And then I quickly realized, okay, 5 or 6 days a week times $6 or $7. It adds up to a lot of money. That's upwards of, let's say, $30 to $40 a week, which adds up to, let me see, 3, 6, 9, 12, $120 to $160 a month, which over a year, you're talking about $1,200 to $1,600. My math is probably a little off, but you know what I mean. An average of $1,200 a year out the window on coffee alone. Well, you can take that money and put it toward your FU fund. And believe me, all of these things that I'm saying, it accumulates. I looked Last year I started this slowly. I didn't implement all of the steps at one time. Like the coffee and the meat were the last two things on my list that I hadn't accomplished until recently as far as eliminating. But overall, you look into that account and doing these little things over 6, 7 months, it accumulates. And before you know it, your FU money is growing. So yeah, if you can do some little things to cut some of the nonsense out of your budget, like coffee, I'd say jump on it. What I do is I make my own coffee at home, and I bring my creamer because now I'm into the oat milk. And of course, when you go to like, if you're bringing your coffee from home, you want to bring your oat milk. But let's just say, for instance, I do stop and get a cup of coffee from like Buc-ee's, which is a local grocery store here in Texas. If I go to Buc-ee's, I'm gonna spend maybe $1 and some change on a cup of coffee, which is reasonable considering, I was spending $7. So what I do is, if I know I'm gonna go to Buc-ee's, I bring my creamer with me because it's oat milk, and they don't have oat milk. So we can't use the excuse that I can't drink the coffee, the free coffee at the job because they don't have the creamer that I like. Bring your own creamer. Amazon sells these cute little containers. They're about this big with the lid on them. You put your creamer in there, you throw them in your bag, and you keep going. So don't let the excuse that I can't keep my coffee hot enough, or the job doesn't carry or doesn't stock the cream that I like, so I'm gonna run down to Starbucks. Yeah, I've been there and I've done that. Starbucks is in the lobby of my job, and I was down there faithfully mid-shift buying a $7 cup of coffee every day. So I had to cut that out. It was last to go on my list, but I'm so thankful that I got over that hump because it has saved me a lot of money so far. Number 11 on my list, I go out less and I stay home more. So I figured, every time I left the house, I was spending $200-300 before you know it. So what I do, again, back to my planner, back to my trusty dusty planner, I allow myself 2 outings a month. Before, I was going to brunch every Sunday and spending $70, $80, $90 just on brunch every week. Now I allow myself 2 outings a month to go hang out with my folks, my people, my girls, and get a bite to eat and bring it back home. Okay, I eat way less now, so I don't order those big meals, the grits with the shrimp and the chicken and the waffles and all of that was costing you, $18, $20 a pop, plus the appetizers, plus whatever you're drinking. No. What I do is, before I go out now, I eat a snack, and I get something very light on the menu. I eat half there, and I bring the other half home. And, and I only allow myself twice a month to go out, unless there is like somebody is coming from out of town, to visit, or something, some kind of special occasion. Then I'll make headway. But I try to plan around the special occasions too. I have two upcoming weddings next month, which is September, that is going to be a lot of eating and a lot of money spending in September. So I'm trying to buckle down more in August so that I can stay as close to on my budget as possible. That's another tactic that you can use, projecting where your expenses will come up from and trying to modify your budget before that, and then after that is before that event and after that event, to kind of take the edge off, because you don't want things like, outings and weddings and birthdays and, other special occasions to derail your budget. So it's all about moderation, moderate the amount of time you go out, and, how much money you spend when you're out there. And number 12, I mind the business that pays me. What does that mean? It means I try to stay out of the mix as much as possible. I don't join too many committees no more. I don't sign up for hosting baby showers or gender reveals or any of the stuff that I used to do that would ultimately end up costing me a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of aggravation in most cases. I just do what I need to do for my own self, and I don't put myself in the situation where I'm just burning money. I come home, I watch my Netflix, which I spend money on, and all of the internet and the Xfinity cable and all of the creature pleasures that I pay for every month to have my home and my life comfortable. I come home and enjoy them. It's I'm just not out there as much as I used to be, and it's okay. I don't have to be out there as much as I used to be. I'm an introvert at heart anyway, so I'm perfectly fine and good just staying home and counting my coins and anticipating my next trip. So yes, guys, that's it. That's pretty much my 12 strategies that I've used that have helped me stack my FU money, and it allows me to move about whenever and wherever I want to. And I hope that some of this information you find helpful and in getting you motivated to start your own FU fund for either traveling or opening a small business or retirement or education or whatever it is that you guys want to use your FU money for. Have at it. Like I said, I hope some of this is useful. Let me know in the comments what you do to stack money on the side. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, ciao.